how you or anyone can make more money just like I do. And to explain this to you, I'm going to use examples of what I am doing right now to make a lot of money and what I have done in the past. To start, we're going to go back to my investment principles. Remember, that's buying things cheap, selling them when they're expensive. Cash flow's got to pay you to own it. Make sure you diversify not only your portfolio, but your political and your currency risk. This is more passive. I consider this a way to grow money that you actually have. What we're going to focus on today, though, is active strategies. That's how to actually make money from scratch. A lot of people call this a side hustle. I guess that's the popular term, so we'll go ahead and go with that. And you can do this regardless of how much money you have. It takes a little bit of capital up front, but not that much. The only thing that changes are the type of items that you're buying and selling. We're going to talk about two ways to make more money. First is add value. Some people call this forced appreciation. In order to make this happen, you've got to buy low under market value. So how do you do that, George? First and foremost, it requires homework, and more homework. Like I said, this is an active strategy. It's not passive. Then you have to negotiate very well. If you're not good at negotiating, you've got to work on those skills. As an example, something that I've done right here recently in Medellin is I purchased an apartment and we went in there and did boots on the ground research for months and months trying to find a really, really good deal. We did so much homework, it would blow your mind. Here they don't have an MLS, so you literally have to walk up and down the street and look for sale signs, and then you got to find a motivated seller. Their asking price was about $125,000. We ended up paying around $100. I say around because it was in Colombian peso, so the exchange rate's a little difficult, but in dollar terms, that's about what it was. So how did I get this down? How did I negotiate that? Let me give you a quick bonus tip on negotiation right now. Initially, what you want to do is ask a lot of questions. Questions like, why are you selling? Or how long has this item been for sale? This is going to give you the data that you need to determine whether or not this seller is motivated or whether they are not motivated. Once you figure that out, you come over here and you start giving them an offer. Their ask was at $125. If I want to be around $100, if that's the price that I want to pay, no more than that, I'm going to start off at $87. The reason I start off at $87 isn't necessarily because I think they'll take this price. In fact, I know almost for sure they won't. It's just to get those people to show me their cards. It's like a game of poker. As an example, if they came in at $124 and I really wanted this property, I'd probably go from $87 all the way up to maybe $110 because I know that we'd hopefully land around $120 because there wasn't much wiggle room in their price. But if their initial counter was $110, I would know there's a lot of wiggle room in there. So I definitely wouldn't go from $87 to $110. I'd probably go from $87 to maybe $93 because I'd want to land somewhere under $100 because, again, I know they're desperate to sell. Those were my quick negotiating tips for you, but let's get back into our example. We're going to use this apartment that I just purchased. We call it the gold apartment, and these are actual numbers. I bought it for right around $100,000. But I want to be clear that although we're using real estate in this example, you can use these concepts and these strategies for items which have a much, much lower price point. So don't get caught up right now if you don't think you have enough money to invest in real estate. We're just using this so you guys understand the strategy. When I bought this property, it was old, it was ugly, and it was down and out. The building was really nice, but boy, it was compartmentalized. It was traditional old school Colombian, something you'd see back in the 80s. No one would want to live there in its current condition. That is for sure. Now that we've bought our item for a low price, under market value, we're going to fix up or we're going to repurpose that item. As an example of this, quickly, and something you can do with not a lot of money out of pocket. I've seen many people do this, where they buy old furniture and they either refurbish that furniture and sell it, or you could repurpose that piece of furniture. Have you ever seen that? Where people will take a couch or an old leather chair and they'll add street signs to it or maybe old license plates. That's a great example of making money by adding value from repurposing an item. In order to fix things up, or sometimes to repurpose them, you've got to have some skill sets. First, being able to manage people. And if you can't manage people, you've got to have the skills to refurbish or repurpose on your own. As an example of this, as far as managing people and fixing up, we'll go back to the goal department. I have a team in place, Angie and Joaquin. Angie is my designer, Joaquin is her husband, he is my architect, or down here that's the same as a general contractor. So let's take a look at the goal department and see what it looked like when we got done fixing it up. So what we did is we went and we tore down all the walls, we put in new plumbing, new electrical, a brand new kitchen, living space with furniture, a huge island in front. We opened up the rooms. We turned it from a compartmentalized 3-bedroom into a big, spacious 2-bedroom with 2 master suites. We redid all the flooring, we redid the bathrooms, redid all the lighting, and to top it off, we put a jacuzzi in the master bedroom. We've bought low, we've fixed up, and now we're gonna sell high. In order to do that, we've gotta be good at negotiating, so make sure that you're doing that, practicing whatever you can do. And we need to market the item. That involves writing copy, ad copy. If you're not good at that, read a book, do something, but you've got to be able to write an effective ad. Pictures, you got to take great pictures of your item. Let's say you're putting it on eBay. If you're doing real estate, you've got to stage that so when people walk right into that property, they have an emotional experience. Any type of emotion that they have is going to drive up that price. These things equal a huge premium above and beyond retail. A quick example that I like to use is my buddy Brandon, who buys and sells cars. He will literally go on Craigslist, look for ads where the pictures are really, really bad. He'll go in and he'll buy those cars. The very next week, he'll put them right back on Craigslist or on eBay with fantastic pictures, sell them at a premium, pocket the difference. Going back to the goal department, the purchase price and fixing it up, I was all in at about $163,000. And if I wanted to sell it, I could get about $220,000. So $57,000 in forced appreciation. That's how you buy low, fix it up, and sell high. I know the goal department example is an item with a little bit higher price point, but I want to remind you that you can not only do this with real estate, but RVs. In fact, I own a couple Airstreams where I've done this. Canned hams. And if you don't know what a canned ham is, Google them as soon as you get into this video. Totally cool, cheap RVs, old school, that you can remodel, look really, really neat and sell at a premium. Trucks, something I do as a hobby every once in a while. Cars, my buddy Brandon does that all the time, makes a killing. And I've seen a lot of people do this with furniture. The bottom line is you guys are much more creative than I am. So I'm sure you can think of tons of other items at multiple price points that you can buy low, fix up, sell high, and make a lot of money by adding value. The second way to make money, or side hustle, is arbitrage. This is where you buy something low, you sell it high, but you really don't change the item much in between. First, we've got location arbitrage, and these aren't technical terms, guys, it's just what I call it. Location arbitrage, so that's buying a truck in Arizona that's rust-free at a low price, taking that exact same truck and selling it in Ohio, where they don't have rust-free trucks, making a huge premium. Inefficient markets. An example of that would be Medellin. They don't have an MLS, so there's no central form of information. That means that a buyer that doesn't know what they're doing is going to get burned, and a buyer that does know what they're doing is going to be able to buy stuff at a steep, steep discount and take advantage of that spread. Buy local and sell national. So you're buying things on Craigslist where the pool of buyers is very small, selling it on eBay where the pool of buyers is enormous. Buy when no one else is buying. An example of this would be my buddy Brandon, who loves to buy cars at the auctions right around the holidays because there's no one else there bidding up the price. And the opposite of that is selling when it is hot. As you guys know from watching my videos, I really like old diesel trucks as a store of value along with precious metals. And if I want to liquidate some of those trucks, I will sell them during tax season because that's when everybody's getting that refund check back in the mail and prices are going way, way up. A list of items that you can use for the arbitrage side hustle: real estate, trucks, cars, RVs, furnitures. You can actually use those for both the arbitrage and the add value. Sneakers, baseball cards, ATVs, collectibles, watches, jewelry. Anything that has an extremely inefficient marketplace, you can leverage to make more money. The tools that you need for both of these side hustles: manage people. You got to have some time, maybe on the weekends or evenings. Got to be able to negotiate. Homework, an in-depth knowledge of what it is that you are buying and selling. And marketing. Once you have that item, you have to know how to present it and sell it very well. The bottom line is, with the exception of time, you can learn all of these tools required. You don't have to have any pre-existing skills in order to leverage arbitrage and adding value to make more money. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. For more information like this, check out this content right here, and I will see you on the next video.